Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Previously, I got here to the Spirit Temple, found out that I could do Jack in it, and not Impa, I always confuse Sheik and Impa, it's happened like the last few videos. No, Sheik told me that I have to go back to being a child, because I need to. There's actually a hole that I can crawl into only as a child, so I need to go back to being a child. This is why having the Prelude of Light is important, not only because it makes going to the bottom of the well easier, but also because you will have to switch between child and adult in this upcoming temple. So, hey, get the Prelude of Light. That's what I was trying to get at the earliest possible moment quite a while ago, and I just couldn't do it. I forget exactly what needs to happen to make sure that Sheik comes back into the Temple of Time and teaches you the Prelude of Light. I believe it's finishing the first temple, something like that. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we are now a child again, and if you didn't remember, we can't go anywhere near the, I messed up that song a little bit. We can't go anywhere near the Gerudo Fortress while we're a child. But using not the Prelude of Light that I've played again for whatever reason, using this, we actually got all the songs already. Wow. We are really close to finishing this game, and I feel really good about that. It's A, down, A, right, down, A. I almost said left. So, A, down, right. Wait, no, it was A, down, A, right, down, A. God. I remember songs best in Ocarina of Time by looking at them and then doing a little jingle. Which, make fun of me as much as you will, but that's the best way that I remember them. And I'm not going to subject you to my singing, because it's pretty bad. So, be glad about that. But anyway, I can come back to the Desert Colossus using the song that Sheik taught us. I can't come back here through any other means, so you want to learn that song and then use it to come back here as a child. Right over here is the last place where I need to plant a bean, so we can plant this and we'll be able to get the heart piece that was staring us right in the face on top of the two rocks that are to my right now. So there we go, we'll come back here later, but for now, what's most important is that I equipped all the items I'm going to be needing for this temple. I think that should be pretty good. I think. I really like this temple. Let me get this out of the way right now, because a lot of the other temples in this game don't really use the switching between adult and child feature very much, but this one does, and I'm really happy about that. I think it's a really nice idea, and I'm glad they took the concept to the logical extreme. I haven't seen you around here, kid. What do you want? I want to see the temple. You're just a kid. The temple is no place for kids. Well then, I have come here looking for the sages. A sage? I don't know anyone like that. Then I came here, to do nothing, really. You have nothing to do? What good timing! Can you do me a favor, kid? Wait a second. I want to ask you first. You wouldn't happen to be one of Ganondorf's followers, would you? What if I am? What if I am? Don't try to act cool, kid. I was just asking. A kid like you could never be one of Ganondorf's followers. Well, let's cut to the chase. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Naburu. We've heard about you, you exiled woman, you. I'm Naburu of the Gerudo. I'm a lone wolf thief. Are you sure you, again, didn't just get exiled? But whatever. But don't get me wrong. Though we're both thieves, I'm completely different from Ganondorf. With his followers, he stole from women and children. And he even killed people. A kid like you may not know this, but the Ganondorf race. This is what I get for trying to record 2 videos in one day. It never works out. The Gerudo race consists only of women. Only one man is born every 100 years. Even though our laws say that lone male Gerudo must become king of Gerudo, king of the Gerudo, that was such an odd way to word it, I'll never bow to such an evil man. By the way, what is your name, kid? Link? What kind of name is that? Well, anyway, I kind of like how Zelda pokes fun at your name sometimes, and if you put in your real name, it's just really funny, because it's like, Jeremy? God, that name's so stupid! It's just, I find it kind of funny, and I think it's a little bit of humor that some people don't necessarily pick up on immediately. Will you go through this tiny hole and get a treasure that's inside? The treasure is the silver gauntlets. If you equip them, you can easily push and pull very heavy things. No, kid. Don't even think about taking this treasure for yourself. The silver gauntlets won't fit a little kid like you if you try to equip them. I want you to be a good boy and give them to me. Ganondorf and his minions are using the Spirit Temple as a hideout. Only the silver gauntlets will allow me to sneak deep into the temple. Once there, I'm going to steal all the treasure inside and mess up their plans. How about it? Will you do it? Sure, I'll do it. I'm actually going to go look around the temple anyway, so it's nice to kill two birds with one stone. You and I, let's give Ganondorf and his followers a big surprise, shall we? If you can successfully get the silver gauntlets, I'll do something great for you. A lot of people make her very suggestive, and I really don't think that suits her character very well at all. And I can definitely see how you could take some of the things that she says in a sexual manner. It's gone. My shield. Great. But I can definitely see how you can take some of her text in a suggestive manner, but I don't really think it suits her character. She doesn't seem like the type that would say something like that. So when people do kind of make it suggestive, it just kind of annoys me a little bit, because I'm like, no, that wouldn't fit her character whatsoever. And I don't know, maybe I'm just picky about that type of stuff. I'm not quite sure. It's not a big deal. Do what you want, laugh at what you want. I don't care that much. But I don't really think it's a fitting joke. I don't even think it's that funny, but whatever. Nothing I can do here right now because I do not have a, I almost said silver key. I guess that's not wrong, but a small key is more like it. The key should not have respawned yet. That is the case. Okay. I believe what I need to do is kill you because I know that you're an enemy. So let me pull out my bombs really quickly. You will have to utilize a lot of the items that you have in this temple. It is really great at making you use everything. That's also something else I would like to mention about Ocarina of Time. A lot of times Zelda games, and this is mostly with Twilight Princess, which I believe I've talked about my disdain for. I shouldn't say disdain. My lack of enthusiasm towards. I believe I've explained how I'm not too keen on replaying that game a few times in the past. Maybe not on video, so I might talk about that now. But I first want to state that that game doesn't really make you utilize your items. I did not mean to use that twice. That did not work out very well. I actually wasted a lot of magic doing that, but whatever. In Ocarina of Time, you have to use all your items a lot. There's never an item that really feels useless other than, let's say, the slingshot after getting the boomerang, but that's really it. That is legitimately it. And people talk about how Zelda games can be bad because, you know, or items in Zelda games are bad because you don't necessarily have to use them that much. And I think Twilight Princess is definitely a great example of Zelda items being used very minimally. I don't know. They're not used very often, pretty much. You get an item in a dungeon, you use it to beat the dungeon, and then past that point, you pretty much never use it again. But in Ocarina of Time, specifically in this temple, you use every single item that you have. It's actually a really great game that that makes you use a. Of course, it's a great game. What am I talking about? It's a game that makes you use a lot of the items that you have at your disposal, and people don't really talk about that all that much. So I kind of wanted to get that out there. Ocarina of Time, I feel like it has some of the best item usage in the series. Not necessarily the best, but some of the best. So I think it's kind of neat. Finding that guy without my Deku Shield was a little bit strange, but whatever. What you want to do here is not really that, but I guess that works out just fine. I mean, killing that guy is actually very helpful for me, because I do want to do this. I want to throw it around right there. Use my boomerang to hit that, because you can only use the boomerang for that. You can't get an angle where, you know, it actually... let's say your slingshot. You can't get an angle where you can use your slingshot to hit that. You consistently have to use the boomerang. You cannot use the slingshot. There's no angle that makes that possible, so just keep that in mind. This area is a little bit interesting. This is a new enemy, and let me see if I can see target onto him. There we go. It's an Anubis. It's vulnerable to fire. Well, I could solve the puzzle of this room because the Anubis actually follows essentially everything I do in an opposite manner. So if I walk backwards, it'll walk to its backwards. It'll walk backwards, stuff like that. If I walk to my left, it'll walk to my right, stuff like that. I would have to hit this, make the fire appear, and make Anubis burn using that, or I could just run up to Anubis and use Din's fire. There we go. Goodbye, Anubis. Puzzle solved. That was so difficult. I've never done that puzzle legitimately. It said he's weak to fire. I immediately used the one fire move that I had, which was Din's fire, and I was like, wow, I'm such a smart kid for figuring that out. But, not really. I would have been infinitely smarter if I actually did the real puzzle. So, there you go. A little story from my past of playing this game. I hope the Anubis does not respawn. Thank God it doesn't, because I don't want to waste more magic than I already have. I'm already down half my magic meter. God. There are wall masters here, I guess, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful. There are also fire keys, so, back to the Hylian shield I go. Let's get rid of this guy really quickly, because I really don't want to have to deal with these guys very often. There was a gold skulltula right there that I can't currently get. We'll get it in a minute, but not yet. Calm down. We'll get there eventually, but not now. I'm going to wait for this wall master to fall down. There we go, so I can climb up here without having to worry too much. This is another Silpy. I seem to have problems with mixing words together right now, and I don't know why. I did it in the last episode as well, and I'm doing it here. This is another silver rupee room, so you grab all the silver rupees, that falls down, and you get hit by the gold skulltula through the wall. Because yes, that makes sense and is fair. Really happy about that. It's an N64 game. The collision won't be fantastic. I already know that. I'm just kind of making fun of it. It's not a big deal. I don't think I need to really use my boomerang that much past this point, so I might as well not. I don't know where I was really going with that. I was thinking about re-equipping it, but I have the Ocarina out, and it's just, it was so much work to re-equip the boomerang. I might actually do it for a second. Don't try to light yourself on fire, please, because I think using the boomerang will actually make getting this guy a little bit easier. You can climb on the chains. I've already shown that off. You can climb on the chains if you want. I do not want. I want to throw my boomerang and get it really quickly. So there we go. That is 44 gold skulltulas, I believe. Only one way to find out. I know I'm going into my menu quite a lot, and I apologize about that. I know you want to see gameplay, but I just wanted to check to make sure that I had 44 gold skulltulas. And guess what I have? 44 gold skulltulas. So now that we have this small key, I can continue on in the dungeon. I'm going to go through the entirety of the child section of this dungeon in this video, so it might be a little bit long, and I apologize about that, but I feel that's the best way to segment this video, because you're never really frequently switching between being an adult and a child. It's nothing like, let's say, Eggman Land and Sonic Unleashed. If you don't know what that is, then let me explain. In the HD version of Sonic Unleashed, I know it's kind of weird that I'm talking about that while playing a Zelda game, but the point is, you would switch from the Werehog to normal Sonic by hitting a switch. It's not something like that where you need to utilize the two different forms of yourself in like rapid succession, really. It's more like trying to what am I trying to say? It's more like doing one section as a child and then doing another section as an adult. It's very sectioned off, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I kind of wish they did something a little bit more interesting with it, but I understand why they didn't, so that's fine. Now, I recently got a lot of bomb shoes. I got, in fact, a lot of bomb shoes from a guy who forced me to pay well, didn't force me, but I paid 200 rupees for it. What I want to do is I want to drop my bomb shoe. That was a little bit too quickly. It was perfect. Never mind. I want to drop my bomb shoe. It'll blow that up, and light will shine to this room. There are new types of switches we're going to have to activate. These guys are weird sun things that kind of creep me out a little bit. That is a Lizalfos. Hey, how you doing? It's been a while since I last saw you, and since there's no keys in this room that could possibly get my shield off of my person, let's deal with you the old-fashioned way. Actually, you know what? You don't have a shield like a Stalfos, so I can just kind of, like, take pot shots at you. You are significantly easier than a lot of the other enemies I've been facing so far, so I'm sorry, but goodbye. You didn't do much to me. There's a switch up here, if you're wondering what it is. It just drops a chest. It gives you bomb chews. It's nothing too special. It just makes it so that if you get stuck in this room without bomb chews, I lied to you. It gives you rupees. But the point is, there should be a bomb chew chest somewhere in this room. I'm just not finding it. Essentially, if you get stuck in this room without bomb chews, you can go back. You have to buy bomb chews. It's a little bit annoying, but it's not terrible. So just keep that in mind. It's not too far into the dungeon, so I don't mind too much that you'd have to go out and buy bomb chews again, but you should have a few at this point. They don't drop. I should mention that. They're not like bombs where they drop off of enemies or in grass or something like that. You do have to buy bomb chews. They're purchasable and purchasable only. So there you go. That over there has a gold skulltula. I can't get over there because I, one, don't have the Scarecrow song, and two, I don't have a hook shot. So even if I did have the Scarecrow song, then hey, fun fact, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I don't have the hook shot on me as a child. I knew I had to push that off. I wasn't exactly sure why. I remembered having to do it, so I did it, and it activated a switch. So there we go. I can come up here. There's a lot more of that room to explore. We'll be able to explore it later. But for now, I want to run all the way up here and get into another room. This is another silver rupee puzzle. Ooh, so crazy, so fun. This is actually kind of interesting. There is a block with a sun switch on it, so what I want to do is actually move a lot of these blocks out of the way, because I want to take this sun switch block and put it into the light. A lot of this dungeon, I almost said dungeon and temple at the same time, that is a little bit funky. A lot of this dungeon temple is actually focused around activating these switches through different means. This is one of those means. So let's pull it out. I don't really have to do a lot of crazy block puzzles, I don't think. I believe I have to move the blocks around this room to make getting the silver rupees a lot easier. But other than that, the block pushing doesn't get too bad. There's a Beamos there, and I would be very, very glad if you would kindly die for me, sir. I really would appreciate that. So there you go. Goodbye. Never want to see you again. Please get off my real estate. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really don't have anything interesting to say about this section. It's interesting conceptually, then you realize, oh, it's just another block pushing puzzle, but at least they did something kind of interesting with it. I kind of want to get rid of all the Beamos real quick, so might as well do that. There's one more right over here. Goodbye. I actually do need to get rid of that one, because if I do not, I will not be able to get this silver rupee, so it's good that I did that in the first place. I have my 6 already equipped, so that's fine. I'm going to need to light some 6 on fire and light some torches, so just in case you were wondering what I had to do in this area. Also, I don't really have to do block pushing very often, because if you kill all the Beamos, then it's very, very, very easy to get to the sections that you need to get to. These sections are a little bit thin, so you want to be a little bit careful, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Don't worry too much. Hop right up there. I believe this is the one time you really do have to push blocks to get it. Though, again, the blocks are already very, very close to it, so I don't have to push the blocks. I could just jump off the blocks. I don't know. This is kind of a block pushing puzzle, kind of not really. So, there you go. That lights that torch on fire, and now that I have my sticks, I can go run around, light these on fire. There should be one right around here. I'm going to put that out. Take it out again, because I don't want to lose any of these sticks. And there should be one more right around here. Right here. That will give me a chest. I'm wondering what'll unlock the door. So, we'll see. I don't know. I keep thinking, oh, I don't need to unlock the door. So I could have just left this room immediately. Huh. Then what's in this chest? It better be worth it. A small key. So yeah, it's worth it. You have to actually do this. Never mind. I thought it was going to be rupees for a second, and I don't really have a reason to say rupees suck anymore, if I'm being honest, because I ran out of a lot of rupees in that minigame I recently did, so, yay rupees! Yay! Alright. This room is very, very special. This is a very, very interesting enemy. If I get close, . he does nothing. If I slash, the Dark Nut, it's not a Dark Nut, it's an Iron Knuckle. The Iron Knuckle will awake. I kind of ruined this, the tension there, but there are enemies that are very similar to these guys called Dark Nuts, so just realize that I was not completely wrong. These guys can be a little bit difficult. You might notice that already, I'm very low on hearts, and this guy is doing a lot of damage. And my shield does almost nothing against him. I thought it was gonna help me a little bit out. Help me out a little bit, but it didn't. The best way to deal with this guy, take pot shots, backflip, run away, take pot shots again, backflip, run away. This is probably the most fun fight in this game. The reason I say that is because it's not just waiting for the enemy to attack, it is taking shots at him, going away, waiting for him to attack, jumping back again, waiting for him to have a vulnerable phase, and then, ooh, that was bad, waiting for him to have a vulnerable phase, and then jumping back again. It is very high action. I am losing a lot of hearts right now. I wish I wasn't. It's really best for him to do the chop like that and kill you, and make you use all 3 of your fairies. Just kidding, I have 1 more. But this is not going super well. It usually doesn't kill me this many times. I didn't even get a hit in, are you kidding me? Alright, I'm gonna have to pay a little bit more attention. Once you do a certain amount of damage, he will lose some of his armor. He will become a little bit faster, so you do want to be careful in this phase. He will no longer get stuck in the... Oh, no, he does. He'd still get stuck in the ground. If you need hearts, which, trust me, first time through, you will need hearts. If you get him to attack these pillars, then hearts will drop out of it. I think this is actually really great. It's really nice that they have an enemy actually interacting with the environment. You don't see that a lot in this game, which is actually kind of sad, because I really do like when enemies interact with the environment, and it would have been really great if every fight was like this. And then they just had kind of smaller, less important enemies, but like all the bigger fights, like let's say with Stalfos, they were like that, but a little bit less scary. I don't know, I think that would have been fantastic, but the Iron Knuckles are just such a fun part of this dungeon, and I'm really, really sad they don't appear before this point. Though I can see why, because they're pretty difficult to fight. I said Kapora Gabora would not show up ever again. I lied. I forgot he comes up 1 more time, but this is really the last time I'll see him. Thank God. Oh, hey Link, it's been a long time. A long time in this world is almost nothing to you, is it? How mysterious. Even I thought that tales of a boy who could travel back and forth through time was merely a legend. Link, you have fully matured as an adult. From now on, the future of all people in Hyrule is on your shoulders. Thanks, that doesn't make me scared at all. Maybe it's not my time anymore. Here is my last advice. 2 witches inhabit this temple. In order to destroy them, turn their own magic power against them. Hoot hoot? Do you want to hear what I said again? Not a chance. You will not trick me. Last time. I'll continue to watch you. Hoot. 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 I can't do it. I wasn't even trying, to be honest. His hooting is so strange. But anyway. Right here. We are on the Hand of the Desert Colossus. There's a chest on one of them. And in this chest, we get what Naburu wanted us to get. The silver gauntlets. If you wore them, you would feel power in your arms. The power to lift big things with A. But these gauntlets won't fit on a kid. Plus, you promised to give them to Naburu. You should keep your word. Unless something terrible happens to her. Hey, where are you taking me? Yeah, let me go! You fiends! Ganondorf's minions! Link, get out of here, now! These witches, they're using black magic on me! And with that, Naburu's gone. We've done everything we can here as a child. That was the entirety of... That wasn't very long, actually. That was the entirety of the Young Link section of this temple. Next episode might be a little bit longer, because the Adult Link section is, again, slightly longer. But we did a lot here. We got through a bunch of the temple. It was very, very fun for me, and we also got the silver gauntlets, which we can't equip because we're just a child. But now that we don't have to give it to Nibiru, they might be able to help us as an adult. But that's for next episode. Until then.